We live in the suburbs in a fairly large house. Me, my wife, and my mother-in-law Charlotte, age 46. Until the day this story began, I thought of my mother-in-law as a particularly unremarkable woman, with a fairly standard appearance for her age. Not a beauty, but not ugly either, a little pudgy, dyed blonde. Our relationship with her was also average, not so much a feud, but they could hardly be called friendship. Large scandals with her and I did not happen, but spats and light clashes happened. Fortunately, my wife acted as an independent judge, and we quickly reconciled. She behaved modestly, did not pretend too much, the role of the owner gave me, and she was content with the role of cleaner and cook. Although the men's work, of course, I did, good hands grow from where it should. More for the preface, I have a vacation due to the specificity of work in a strictly fixed time, each year different. And my wife usually took a vacation with me to go away together in distant countries. That year I seemed to be lucky. I was given a vacation in the summer at the end of July, all would be great, but my wife was sent away on a business trip to the States for a week just at the beginning of my vacation, respectively timed together for this week. And reduced on the second day going to the city on business, I returned about 11, the door was open, and in the living room sat mother-in-law and a strange woman. Both ladies, judging by the blush, frequent unreasonable laughter and slowed speech, were heavily liquored up. "There he is, my favorite son-in-law Thomas!" Charlotte shouted, standing up. Two things surprised me. First, she had never called me favorite, and second, as she stood up, she hurriedly buttoned her robe. "Hello," I said, glimpsing that the shirt on the guests was also rather boldly unbuttoned almost halfway. True, she awkwardly, not immediately getting the button into the holes, buttoned it up nevertheless. "Meet my very, very best friend." My mother-in-law's body smelled of alcohol, sweet-smelling female sweat, and some new odor, the origin of which I guessed later. The guest was well-built, though I still wouldn't call her beautiful. "Sophia," she said, somewhat embarrassed, buttoning the last button at the very nape of her neck, which was quite unnatural in the searing July heat. "Right, and have a bruderschaft," Charlotte exclaimed, pouring me some wine. The whole thing was weird, but come on, their hops would wear off by morning, and everything would fall into place. I decided not to argue with two drunken women and to please them in everything. When I approached Sophia, I helped her to weave her hands together properly, and we drank a brudershake. True, I was surprised at how intently she looked into my eyes, as if hypnotizing me. "Well, now we can have a penalty," shouted mother-in-law, who took the role of toastmaster, for being late. "What tardiness, where to? Come on, one should be lenient, who hasn't had too much to drink. I'll sit with you for a while and then I'll go to bed." "Tired," I said, to prepare an escape route. "Listen, can we switch rooms for a while? Getting serious?" my mother-in-law asked. "Sophia will stay with us for a week. Do you mind?" "No, you sleep at my place and we'll sleep in your double." "That's fine." "Or maybe," giggled Sophia, who quickly got rid of the embarrassment of meeting her, "let's not switch. Don't you want to lie down with him?" Laughing mother-in-law, "I do." Sophia even clapped her hands. "Thomas, you don't mind?" "I don't mind, but I'm afraid my wife will," I said, the first thing that came to mind. "And we're not going to tell her." Charlotte just burst out laughing. "Yes, it's a bad case of the aunts getting drunk," I said, smiling for the sake of appearances. "All right, I'll go make the beds." When I came back, Nastya's shirt was half unbuttoned again, revealing a fleeting view of her naked body as she moved. The mother-in-law, however, kept her robe buttoned up after all. After sitting for a while, I politely said good night and went to bed. But sleep did not come to me. Perhaps it was my mother-in-law's bed, which was too soft and uncomfortable. Or maybe it was the fact that I saw a modest woman completely different, which I had never seen in more than 20 years of acquaintance. Not that she didn't drink at all, just a glass or two on a holiday. And so, I couldn't get to sleep. In addition, the night was insanely hot. I threw back the blanket, twisted from side to side, counted sheep, camels, but all was in vain. Soon I got up and quietly, so as not to wake my friends, went outside for a smoke. The night was absolutely silent, as it is in summer. Even the dogs did not bark, probably exhausted by the heat. Somewhere far away a car rumbled, and then, even farther away, I heard a train horn. Standing in my underwear on the porch, I smoked, looking at the garden, brightly lit by the moon. and then I heard a quiet sound coming from somewhere close by. At first it seemed to me like a creak, then a rustle, and only after listening I realized it was a moan. But it was not a moan of pain, but of pleasure. I turned my head and saw the window of my wife's bedroom open wide, and the moan was clearly coming from there. It all became clear. I had heard that even in decent women, alcohol easily removes moral constraints, and chaste nun or prim teacher can passionately give themselves to some vagrant and then a lifetime of remorse. I have also heard that all women are a bit lesbians, and in the absence of a man can no less wildly pounce on their own kind. Actually, one could just marvel that my mother-in-law, whom for obvious reasons I could not think of as a woman, would be such a victim of alcohol. I could have marveled and gone to bed, but nature prevailed. I realized that for no reason I would not miss such a chance, for the first time in my life to see lesbian fun, not in the movies, not on videotape, but in real life. And it would not be anyone, but my wife's mother. Trying to tread noiselessly, I took a few steps toward the window. The moon illuminated the bedroom like a spotlight, and so I hoped first to get a clear view, and second, to know that they would probably not see me against the light. I wasn't wrong about anything. They were on this very case. After a minute, I got bolder and began to look out the window almost without lurking. When I came back to my senses, I realized that my girlfriends had no intention of calming down. Now they were lying next to each other and kissing passionately in a hickey. I could not think that my mother-in-law, a grown woman, is capable of such a thing, and even more so, that I would witness her unconventional love games. Probably, the old way of satisfaction is no longer suitable for my mother-in-law, I thought. Trying hard not to creak the door, I went back to my room. I don't remember how I fell asleep. When I woke up, my friends were already in the kitchen eating breakfast as if nothing had happened. I pretended not to know what they had been doing the night before. Let it remain our little secret.